is Saturday, so that means another Destiny 2 ASMR video. Welcome back, and I hope you are all doing well. So today we're going to be playing on my Hunter, and I'm thinking we're just going to do the weekly story mission, since I have yet to do that on this character. Quick overview of what we're using here. We have a Void Hunter. We are running actually we're going to run Mobius Quiver, just because that is a bit more damage. We are running a Heritage with Recombination and Reconstruction, so that we can make use of the Unstoppable Shotgun mod. We're running Le Monarch, so that we can make use of its intrinsic overload abilities that it has now. And just for the rocket, we're just using a Adept Hothead. For the armor, we are just running, just pretty basic stuff. But this is the transmogrifications as well as the shader that I'm using for this loadout. All right, so here we are in the helm. Let's just open up our map, and I believe, let's see, Europa, Combatants, and Expedition Treasure. So we're going to load into the Expedition here. Looks like it's actually Solar Singe. But we're just going to keep running Void since we're already geared up for that. And the champs are Unstop and Overload. Also, as a side note of something I think is noteworthy, this week, Ada1 in the tower, who is the character and NPC in the game that sells the transmogrification bounties. She's actually selling a Charge with Light mod called Powerful Friends, which is a very useful mod. I believe it makes it so that if one of your teammates becomes charged with light, you also become charged with light. So for those of you who may have missed out on that mod when it was originally introduced quite some time ago, stop by Ada1 and pick it up. Because with the current system of her just kind of randomly selling mods, who knows when it may come back around. All right. Other things going on in Destiny this week. We have Vault of Glass as the Rotator raid, which means that all of the challenges are active. So if you need to work on your title, or maybe farm up some rolls of the adept weapons, if you have already done all the challenges, you can just load in with a fire team, take out Atheon on Master, and spend your spoils on a few of the adept weapons, or time lost weapons, I guess. Alternatively, that also means that Vex Mythoclast is farmable in the last encounter. So, yeah. We also have Trials, which is up this weekend. I believe the map is Midtown, and the Adept reward is Forgiveness, which is the sidearm. Next week for Trials, we're going to have Freelance, and likely one of the new weapons. I feel like It's either going to be the shotgun or the bow next weekend. As to why Bungie chose to not put one of the new weapons up for this weekend, the first weekend, it's probably because they wanted to wait for it to be a freelance weekend. It's because that will draw more engagement from the community at large. Wow, this it's a little bit loud in my ears here. All right, there we go. I'm trying to think of any other notable things going on this particular weekend. Zur is here. So he is selling, you know, his usual stuff, Dead Man's Tale and Hawkmoon. I believe the Hawkmoon roll is a surplus roll. Dead Man's Tale, I'm not so sure about. He is actually also selling 2 different sets of legendary armor. I believe it is the set for one of the Gambit Prime sets, back when Gambit Prime was a thing, as well as another legendary set from Season of the Risen, which was the season right before Witch Queen came out. I think that about covers most of the, you know, somewhat important things. But yeah, so here we are in, this is actually called Expedition. This is, excuse me, this is one of the 2 seasonal activities that were added with Season of the Plunder. And essentially, you're basically going on a treasure hunt. You go out, you know, you hop in the playlist, it puts you on, you know, one of the different planets, and essentially you just you kind of activate like a treasure drill type thing, and you know, waves of enemies start attacking you, and as you're doing that, the treasure drill starts to sort of shoot out little like exotic, like golden looking engrams, and those engrams are essentially the treasure, and then you pick them up and you throw them into this thing here, which is like the treasure holder thing. I'm not exactly sure what you would call that, but yeah. And so it's basically, you just kind of alternate between gathering the treasure and then defending the payload, if you will, as you move towards the final location, which is where you actually are able to get your you actually dig up like a treasure chest of sorts. Whoops, that was probably loud. I just slammed my mouse into the side of my keyboard. Apologies for that. It just lets me know that I need to move my keyboard out of the way. Yeah, so there's like this activity, and then there is, you know, there's the catch crash activity, which is actually, I actually really enjoy the catch crash. This one's not so bad. It's entertaining enough because there's a good bit of enemies that spawn in, and so there's never really like a dull moment where you're just kind of like standing there waiting for something to do. And it's a, if it was a 6-man activity, I feel like it would be, there wouldn't be quite enough enemies to go around. But we basically have the 3-man activity, which is this, and then we have a 6-man activity, which is the catch crash. Now the catch crash is really neat, but essentially what that is you get you basically like board a fallen ship, and so like it's kind of like a this whole season is basically pirate themed, and it kind of leans into the whole idea that the Elixni, or as they're known now as the Fallen, or at least the not so friendly Elixni are now known as the Fallen. That just by nature, they're pirates, right? So like it's called Season of the Plunder. All of the armor looks, the seasonal ornaments look very pirate-esque. You're hunting for buried treasure. You're commandeering ships and stuff like that. It's a much lighter tone than last season, which last season dealt a lot with a lot of like more like emotional sort of not necessarily depression, but kind of just like mental health stuff almost. With the different Zavala and Crow and Keitel sort of coming to terms with things from their past. Alright, so we are pretty much at the end here, so I think I actually need to... put together a map. We will just put that together. And open that, and then you can actually dig up treasure. Nice. Alright, complete pirate hideout. Alax. Oh, hey, I got a red border sniper. Unfortunately, that one does not have a pattern that I can pull, but not bad. Oh, I should probably... Alright. So from here, the next step is to complete Pirate Hideout, Alax, the Beast Tamer. Okay. But yeah, so generally the weekly quests, they're very short this season. You typically do like the Catch Crash, or you do the Expedition, and then once you do that, you go and you do like a little, it's basically like a lost sector. And you go in and you infiltrate a base and you kill, one of the, like an enemy of some sort. And at that point, it's like, that's it, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit here. And we're going to use use this bad boy. Also want to swap my armor back. But yeah, so like most of these little zones here that you do are actually like lost sectors. I think from the Fallen, or from the Tangled Shore, which, you know, of course that area is no longer, you know, in the game, unfortunately, since it got vaulted. But they pretty much just took a lot of those lost sectors and then changed them slightly, but mostly you just kind of they're just in reverse for the most part, which I don't really have a problem with. I know, you know, there's an argument to be made that, oh, that's, you know, that's just lazy, you know, reusing assets, but I mean, I don't mind it, truthfully. I don't expect to get spanking, you know, brand new content every single season. You know, so I mean, hey, I'm totally fine with Bungie reusing some assets. You know, I have no problem with it. But yeah, as you can see, this these missions aren't too particularly you know, difficult for the most part. You know, I'm just kind of jumping around doing, you know, kind of whatever. But you know, that's the case with most of like the just sort of seasonal, like day-to-day, you know, content for Destiny. None of it's too terribly hard. So now it's going to retreat and call out more of the dogs. You kill the dogs, that lowers the shield. And there's, you know, a few enemies here to take down. Nothing too crazy. It actually does decent damage, surprisingly. And then once you clear the base, you pick up a relic. And then after you do that, that's pretty much it. You go to the, you head back to the helm, and you head back to like the Elixni quarter, which is like where, you know, the friendly Elixni are living, you know, in the last city, like in the tower now. Well, not in the tower, but in the last city. And you have a little bit of dialogue and some, you know, story progression, plot development. And then that's it. That's usually what the weekly quests have been, you know, for the most part. Very short, done and over with in a pretty small amount of time. So the first order of business is the hologram here. And I am just going to kind of click through this here. Now we go to visit the spider, which the spider is back this season. Again, he was on the Tangled Shore. Oh yeah, so now this is something that also the community got a little confused, especially, a lot of those folks that don't necessarily know who Spider is and kind of what his, how his character is, right? He's kind of like a scummy, a trickster sort of person. But each week, he's like, oh, hey, thanks for doing whatever, like whatever it was that he asked you to do, right? But here's your reward, pick one of these 3 engrams, for a prize, right? And you're like, oh, okay, well, he's going to give me like a legendary gun or something. Like the last couple of weeks, it's been giving like 100 glimmer or I think it even gave like a green armor piece for a different subclass. So like if you were a hunter, he'd give you like some green boots for a warlock, right? But if I remember when I did this on my warlock, this actually gave me a legendary gun. So, and I don't think it matters which one you actually pick. So we're just going to pick, oh, okay, nah. So he gave me 320 glimmer. That's sick, dude. The next step is actually just to visit the spider again and get your reward. And then it just tells you, hey, okay, you're done for this week. Come back next week. And that is pretty much it for the weekly mission there. That is pretty much it. So again, we've got the Elixir Quarter here, which, Fortnite reference. This season launched right alongside the reveal of, the Lightfall trailer, and as well as like the announcement that the game would be available on the Epic Games Store. And that resulted in like the Destiny 2 and Fortnite like crossover stuff, like with the Fortnite skins being available or the Destiny 2 skins being available in Fortnite, as well as a few of like Fortnite skins being available in Destiny 2. So like you can get like the Black Knight as a Titan set, Drift as a Warlock set, and Omega as a Hunter set, right? And actually, they're selling the gauntlets for each of those sets for Bright Dust, so you'll actually be able to buy the entire set this season if you just wait around. Without spending actual money, if you just wait around for the individual pieces to rotate into the Bright Dust section of the shop there. But yeah, so this is actually like the battle bus, and it's like I'm pretty sure they like have been like week over week they add a little bit more to it. I think I haven't really paid much attention to it, but yeah, and I know some people just like, oh my god, Fortnite in my video game? No way, I'm not gonna have that. I'm very upset. But me personally, I don't care. Like it's, again, this is video games we're talking about here, and it's kind of difficult to find a game that actually has not been kind of crossed over with Fortnite now. Like there's a lot. Fortnite has kind of delved into a little bit of everything these days. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end the video for this week. It's kind of a shorter video here. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. So again, things to note this week. For those of you who don't have it, go check out 801. She has a mod called Powerful Friends, which I think I have. Yeah, I actually have it on here. So when you become charged with light, your allies become charged with light, which is very useful in PvP, because you can combine this with high energy fire, which I don't think I have equipped, but high energy fire is another charged with light mod that makes it so you get a bonus to weapon damage while you're charged with light. Excuse me. So a lot of very basic, well, pretty much any PvP build, quote unquote, uses high energy fire along with Powerful Friends to get a damage boost, because you can also use another charged with light mod called Radiant Light, which means that if you cast your super, your allies become charged with light, right? So you can kind of piggyback between Radiant Light and Powerful Friends, so where like if one of you casts a super, just about everybody becomes charged with light. And if you have high energy fire, you're getting a damage boost. Very useful in things like trials, less so in 6s, but still decent, perk there. And now the other benefit of these kind of mods also is the secondary perk, which the secondary perk for Radiant Light is plus 20 to your strength stat. Whereas with Powerful Friends, the secondary perk is plus 20 mobility. So that's basically almost a free way to get an extra 2 tiers to whatever stat like that, right? That's actually how I get I have a bit more than 100, but that's how I end up getting 100 mobility on my hunter without necessarily having to use a lot of armor mods for it. And to get the secondary perk active, you have to either have another arc charged with light mod equipped in another piece of armor, or just another arc mod equipped in the same piece of armor. So since I have Radiant Light equipped, I can actually take this off and still get plus 20 mobility, right? But if I take off Powerful Friends, I lose that 20 mobility because the mod is gone, but also my Radiant Light, because I have arc equipped here too. So let me just show what happens there. So you notice that the plus 20 strength is gone now, right? No longer there. However, if I come down here and I put Powerful Friends back on, which is right here, then Radiant Light gets its secondary perk active. And of course, since I already have Radiant Light equipped, Powerful Friends gets its secondary perk. And then I usually just throw on, just whatever I can to fill in the blanks here. Usually something, like that. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you, get a little, little notification when my videos are uploaded. I usually upload every Saturday. And yeah, let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments. Thank you all for stopping by, and I hope you all have a great weekend.